There are several soda pops still around that can trace their lineage over a century. That's the case for one well-known brand born in Central Texas.
Dr Pepper was invented in Waco in 1885 by a man named Charles Alderton working at Morrison's Corner Drugstore there in Waco, Texas. And he made it by the glass. You would go in and say, "Shoot me a Waco." He'd mix the flavors together and give you a glass of it.
6 years later, in 1891, Sam Houston Prim bought the right to bottle Dr Pepper and set up the first such plant in Dublin, Texas. They've been bottling soda here ever since. And in some ways, very little has changed over the years, a fact that keeps people getting their pop here.
This is our newest piece of equipment right here. It's called the Miller Hydro Model 50, and it dates back to 1965. Our oldest machine is almost 100 years old.
Kenny Horton says you don't need new equipment to bottle great soda. Their filler machine dates to 1937. The old equipment needs care, but it was built to last, and has seen millions of bottles run through their system. It's a very hands-on operation, and Kenny likes to work quality control.
One of the things they force us to do is about every 3 to 5 cases that come through, we're required to grab a bottle, pop the cap, and take a drink. And if it doesn't taste good, then it's not a good product.
This plant has held on to many traditions. When most other bottlers moved from sugar to corn syrup for their soda, owner Billy Kloster did not make the switch.
He stuck with pure cane sugar because of the taste. It wasn't any sort of health reasons. He just loved the way the pure cane sugar product tasted, and we realized people started coming specifically for the pure cane sugar. So it's a taste thing first.
And for many years, this was the only place Dr Pepper was produced with pure cane sugar. Although that brand is no longer made here, they now produce a well-known lineup of sodas carrying the Dublin Bottling Works label. They have their own soda fountain where you can sit, have a pop or a float, and you can tour Mr. Kloster's museum, a place full of soda pop and Dr Pepper memorabilia. Which brings us back to that old cash register that rang up that very first Dr Pepper over a century ago.
The cool thing about this machine, it tells you so much about the era. For one thing, the price says $7.99. That's the highest it'll go. That's why we can't use it anymore. Of course, in the 1890s, you might buy a single bottle for 2 cents, maybe a case for 15 cents. So $8 would get you a lot of Dr Pepper back in the day.
The first soda pop rolled off the assembly line here in 1891. But a trip here is not just one down memory lane. It's actually a chance to sample some of the greatest soda still being produced. Traveling the countryside in Dublin, Texas, I'm Andrew McCrae.